Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Nicholas Malson speaking, and welcome back to my podcast where you and I will hopefully smile once again. This is episode 21, and I hope you've been doing well. If this is your first time listening to this podcast, welcome. I hope you will enjoy your stay. If you're a returning listener, welcome back. Always a pleasure to know that you have decided to listen to yet another episode of the podcast. Before we begin, just want to remind you that Anchor.fm is helping me to distribute this podcast into multiple platforms such as Spotify, Google Podcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and Breaker. I do also publish these episodes on YouTube, however, I do it manually. So first things first, thank you to Anchor.fm for making my hobby a bit more simplified, yet still interesting. And if you want to communicate with me one way or another, YouTube will be the best place to go. Either leave a comment on any of the videos and I will respond to you as soon as possible with a potential chance of having your comment read out in the next episode. Or if you want a more direct but anonymous communication, or at least the communication that will not be read out in public, send me an email. My email address is smileonceagainpodcast@gmail.com. That's smileonceagainpodcast@gmail.com. All lowercase letters, no special characters apart from the @ and the dot sign. I hope to hear more from you. And I hope that makes sense. Without further ado, let's begin the 21st episode of the Smile Once Again podcast. I hope you'll enjoy. Okay, folks, good evening once again. By the time I am recording this episode, it is the 10th of March 2022. It is Thursday, and it's about to hit 9 o'clock, about 3 minutes left. So 9 o'clock in the evening as is. So it is going to be one of those episodes where I simply don't have much time to think about the script or anything similar to this. So I'm gonna go impromptu. I've done this before, and I think it went well, so hopefully this time it goes well too. But regardless, I hope you will enjoy this episode. But I hope you've been doing well. I hope everything is okay and you've been enjoying the week. My week has been quite hectic, which is good because definitely dedicating some time, working hard and thinking about things and just get things sorted out, which is good. So the reason why I'm recording it right now is because it's literally the only time available for me to just sit down and record something, because starting tomorrow, it's going to be a very busy few days. Just going to be spending time with my special one again, and it's going to be very nice, very exciting. Things are going really well, which is always good to know and hear, and still feel very special when I think of her. It's very nice, certainly is. And I do hope that one day or another, if you haven't already, I hope you will experience this sensation, this love, this passion. The kind of passion that just reignites your desire for life again. It's absolutely fantastic, a moment. And it's an absolutely fantastic feeling. So yeah, gonna be very busy. And I'm going to be dedicating my time to someone who I care about a lot. So it's good. There are a couple of things that I want to talk about. First of them is actually a confession. As you guys know, I have been talking about breaking the bad habits, or just, giving them up, as I think. I think breaking bad habits or breaking habits means giving up those habits. Do correct me if I'm wrong. But regardless, I'm pretty sure you guys are aware that I have been trying to get rid of some habits that I think have been affecting my life negatively. One of them is alcohol, and I have been sober for over a year, and it's been a really good achievement. It's been a great achievement. Unfortunately, a couple of weeks ago, my streak has been accidentally broken, which is a shame because I have been very excited about this. I have been sober for a very long time, and to some, maybe over 1 year is not too long of a time, but it's still a great achievement. I have not drunk anything alcoholic ever since that Christmas period of the year 2020. But sadly, when I have had a reunion with really good friends of mine who I haven't seen in ages, but we have been hanging out and just enjoying ourselves, having a really good time. And my friends have been drinking. I obviously did not. Because our drinks looked very similar. It was a fizzy drink. They drank fizzy drink with some rum. And what essentially happened was I have, by complete accident, grabbed my friend's drink, and she grabbed mine. Unintentionally, of course. It wasn't supposed to have happened. But when I took a, sip of a drink, I realized that it wasn't just a fizzy drink. It was a fizzy drink with rum. And normally, well, not normally, but what I could have done was simply say, okay, I can't drink this. But my mind was, I think it was quite relaxed, and I thought, well, since I drank it already, I might as well just have a drink and then stop. So I had to drink. Thankfully, I didn't drink a lot. I only had like one glass of that drink, so it was a fizzy drink with rum. It was delicious, obviously, but I was quite ashamed of myself because, well, just fighting for, well, not fighting, but trying to stand your ground and say, no, I don't want to drink anymore. I don't want to go back to these days where I will be drinking and stuff like that. And then you just basically submit to the temptation and just drink. And I've been just making excuses in my mind saying, well, I don't want to, waste a drink by pouring it away. It is a good drink. And it just happened. So, what I have learned from this? Well, obviously, just need to keep an eye on my drink this time. And just know where my drink is. And secondly, I just need to keep convincing myself that, I don't want to drink anymore. I don't want to drink anymore. And the thing is, I have been keeping myself strong. As a matter of fact, last year, I had the toughest challenge yet. I was in a festival, and that festival, is very heavily focused on, alcohol and such. It was a heavy metal festival. And thing is, lots of people drink there. A lot of people. You just cannot have the moment where you don't see someone drinking there. It's not a bad thing, people just having fun. But it was very, very tempting. But I stood strong, and throughout the entire festival, I did not drink a single alcoholic drink. Not even a sip of alcohol. And I was really proud of myself, because it was a very tough challenge. I was thinking, well, am I going to make it? Am I going to make it? And I did make it. So I came out strong and sober, and it was good. It was a really good feeling. But here we are, sometime later, February 2022, where the streak was broken. But that's fine, at least I've got my personal best record. Don't know the exact amount of days right now, but it definitely has been over a year. So I think this time I'm gonna try and make it 2 years, or at least a year and a half, that kind of thing. Because I didn't reach a year and a half mark, so I think it might be a year and 2 months to make it fair. There we go. So if I make it a year and 3 months next time, then I should be good. So yeah, I think this is not a moment of sorrow. It's a moment of encouragement. If you have broken your streak, it doesn't have to be alcohol. It has to be like other habits. If you have broken your streak, don't beat yourself down to it. You have broken the streak. Reflect on it. Figure out what was the weakest point. Like how can you avoid it next time? And then just make it your personal best record. Because it was a streak that you have been very dedicated to. So you should be proud of yourself, and be proud of yourself. Because you did a decent fight. You had a decent fight. You've been standing strong. You have lost. So get back up and start over. Start again. And just don't make any excuses. Just keep going. Because bad habits can lead you to just square one. You can become this husk that is submitted endlessly to the temptations. And you can just continue submitting to them and just not being the bare self. Like you'll stop improving yourself. You need to carry on becoming a better person. Do it for yourself, and with your self-improvement, the humanity around you will improve. So, because humanity deserves a better life, and we deserve a better life. That's pretty much what I meant to say. And to do that, we need to look at ourselves first. And when we got ourselves sorted, we can get each other sorted. As long as we know what we're doing, and as long as we know what we want to achieve. Simple as. So yeah, that's my story of relapse, I guess. I don't want to call it a relapse. Probably it's just a slip up, but it's still a defeat in my eyes. So I'm gonna keep going this time. So my streak has been reset, but at least I have not given up. I decided not to drink after that anymore, and I've been doing well with that. So at least that's good. I think it's been 2 weeks now. I think so. Yeah, time goes really fast. Sometimes you just lose the track of things. So. Although on the bright side, another streak is still going. Not gonna talk about that one, but that was the addiction that has been ruining my life without me knowing for pretty much over 15 years. So, at least I am going strong with that one, and I'm good with that. So, that's pretty good. So yeah. Don't give up, keep going, and just start over. It sometimes has to be done. Starting over has to be done. I've been there, I am here again, but I will keep going, and so should you. So yeah, hopefully these words of encouragement will help you. And I really hope so. So, should you want to talk about it, you don't have to leave a comment. You can just send me an email, and with your permission, I can just share these examples. So obviously not exposing your name or anything like that. Just tell your stories. Tell me what you have had in mind, and yeah, perhaps your stories can be motivators to others. So that should be good. Okay. Um, a bit of a rapid change of topic, but I just didn't know how to properly segue to this one. But I would like to thank you for your support from the yesterday's episode, not yesterday's, last time's episode. So last week, for those who haven't listened, I had a very special guest. It was a 20th episode. So you may have already heard me talking about him. It's the guy by the name of Scott, a good friend of mine and also a colleague of mine. And we have been talking about lots of very interesting things. So I would suggest you guys listening to this episode if you haven't. So I'm not going to repeat myself here. But I just want to generally reflect on what has been said and discussed in that episode. Scott has been really supportive for that episode, and he has made the conversation going for quite a while. It's been a really good conversation, very fluent actually. So we have not been struggling with finding themes to talk about. There's always been something to talk about, and Scott's perspective on things were really optimistic, which is a fantastic thing, especially for my podcast and just for life in general. And he has given a lot of very useful advice. As a matter of fact, what he has advised, you can listen more about it in the episode itself. But in short, I want to kind of like dedicate myself to either weight loss or running and jogging and stuff like that. So he advised to kind of take it slow, just learn your body, and one of the things that he has advised, because we mostly have a sedentary lifestyle. We don't really have a lot of hunting gathering duties in our lives, at least for most of us. Just do small steps in life, like choosing stairs over lifts, choosing standing in the buses instead of sitting, even though there are seats available. And that way, at least you are still kind of building yourself up, I guess. And I have started standing on buses a bit more, even though the buses can be sometimes completely empty and such. But I just felt that it was beneficial for me, so I have simply decided to just carry on doing that. And I've been taking small steps first. So, I take two buses to get to work. One bus is to get to city center, and then the other bus going to work. So the one going to work is a bit of a longer one. So I the first trip I usually take standing up, or sometimes if there's an opportunity, I walk to the city center instead. So I think starting next week I'm gonna be doing that instead. That should definitely help me set my goals a little bit better, and fingers crossed it will help me out to do so. So I already, not already, but I start sensing some differences with how I feel. My legs are feeling a bit more relaxed, but at the same time, I feel like they are, getting developed, as in they become stronger, which is good. So I should definitely continue what I'm doing. The only thing that I want to challenge is the way that I, work, because I mostly just sit and work. But perhaps there's an opportunity for me to stand up a bit more often, just to stretch the legs and such. I just need to figure out how I'm going to do that. Maybe there is a way, but it is still something in the works, so hopefully I will find a decent way of doing so. I will keep you up to date with that one, so hopefully I will end up being a bit more committed to improving my body, and maybe at some point I will just start running more. And I really want to do that because like I just feel like running is a bit more natural to me than like sports games and other stuff. And sometimes, I mean, I will be able to go to the gym and such. I just need to like figure out the right times for that, and if whether or not I'm actually happy to do so. But I will push through because I want to be a better version of myself constantly, and Scott's advice is definitely going to help me out. So please check out the previous episode, and if you can, please check out Scott's channel. His channel is called Scotty's Running World. I will just leave the channel's link in the description box again, just to make sure that you guys are aware where to go. But yeah, Scott's channel is developing quite nicely, and he's got a lot of work ready for us all. So yeah, definitely give him a try. He's got really good stuff and really good advice to share. So yeah, I really appreciate your support on this one. So thank you, Scott, for such an incredible experience, and I'm glad you have enjoyed this experience as well. And thank you to all of my listeners and subscribers as well for supporting me and Scott during that episode. It's been really, really appreciated. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Lastly, something I wanted to talk about is I've recently started using this service called Duolingo. I think most of you already know about it, and I'm not sponsored by them in any way. The way it happened, my mom, she was just sending links to her friends and relatives, such as myself, just offering this program to others. And the thing is that I wanted to chisel up my French because I used to learn French when I was at school, and it was such a good start, really. Like I fell in love with this program. It's very interactive, and it's the system is like really cool and straightforward. So I'm currently chiseling up my French, and then I'll probably be moving to German and Italian. So I have to see how things are going. And yeah, so I'm really happy with this new hobby that I have taken, which is basically chiseling up language skills, because I love languages. Like I currently speak 4 languages. So it is English, obviously. Then it is Russian, Latvian, and I used to speak French more or less fluently. But because of lack of practice, I just simply forgot so much stuff. But it is slowly coming back to me. So at some point, I will start speaking French fluently again. French. And I love French language. It's a very romantic sounding language, and even if you swear or say something naughty, just is still gonna sound very kind of like romantic, I'll say. Quite a lovely atmosphere it can create. Perhaps you remember what Merovingian from The Matrix said, wiping your behind with silk, I guess. That kind of stuff. It's a beautiful metaphor. Well, depending on how you look at it, I guess. But it's a good point. It's a beautiful language. And yeah, Duolingo. So it's basically a platform where you can just learn languages, or at least practice them, or just remind yourself of how this language sounds like. Obviously, it is free of charge, but there is a premium version called Duolingo Plus, where more features are given to you, and like it gives you like unlimited access to the program. But a free program is actually very useful as well. But I am considering going for a plus, because there are a couple of things that I'm interested in doing for plus. with plus. But yeah, give Duolingo a try, especially if you are into languages as much as I am, because they're like to me, like there were lots of languages that I actually wanted to learn. So Duolingo actually created the system that I like. It's straightforward. It goes from zero to hero, so it's not gonna bombard you with lots of theory and all that stuff. Instead, it just makes it as playful and interactive as possible. And should you want to learn some rules and such, it can provide the correct rules for the correct lesson, so you don't have to scroll down into plethora of lists of rules and such. It's just pretty straightforward and interactive. So I personally believe that languages are quite important. Two of the main skills that each human needs to have is knowing how to speak and knowing how to count. If a person cannot speak for some out of his control reasons, a lack of speech itself, the person has no voice, or these deafness and stuff like that, then these kinds of people, they can use alternatives such as sign language and all that stuff. So okay, let me rephrase that. Two main things that people have to know how to do is communicate and counting. So mathematics and languages, no matter what kinds of languages, verbal, written, sign language, anything. If you know these two skills, you can communicate with the rest of the world and learn other skills. And I think this is why I have been pretty good with languages at school. And I think when you know how to speak to people, especially in different languages, you just open so many doors to yourself. You discover much more new experiences than as if you couldn't communicate properly, especially with people of different cultures and countries and such. I think knowing languages also improves your experience with traveling. So, you don't have to rely on the fact that the native people in those countries can speak English or whatever language you're speaking. You can start communicating with them. So it will make them a bit more satisfied, I guess. And I think they'll be willing to help you more if you speak their language. Maybe something like that. And it's also some interesting things that I've heard about people who speak multiple languages. Apparently, speaking multiple languages helps you train your brain a bit more. And you have less risk of bad memory and such. Not sure about this one because, I think brain challenges, they can be affecting different people differently. But I think from my perspective, if I know multiple languages, it kind of helps me to memorize things a bit better, which is a bit weird. Again, I think it's just the fact that by speaking other languages, I practice my brain more. And also, another cool thing is the best moment to know that you are fluent in a language is when you start thinking that language. So in my example, for example, excuse the repetition, I have spoken English since I was 5. It's been 21 years of me speaking English. And most of the time, especially when I communicate with people, or when I'm just in an environment where people speak English, for example, I think in English. So I don't think in Russian anymore, I think in English. And I think in thinking in different language, it helps you speak better. So think first, talk second. So that's pretty cool. I think it's just beautiful to know multiple languages. I mean, who knows where you can end up? Maybe the knowledge of different languages can help you progress further. Who knows? Who knows? So yeah, Duolingo, give it a try, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. And here we are. So, I think last bit was a little bit too slow paced, but I just wanted to ramble about languages and just kind of share not so many, but still thoughts about them. And I just wanted to ramble because, what if these rambles can help someone to think new things? I do hope so. Anyways, folks, another episode is coming to an end, and I hope you have enjoyed this episode as much as I've enjoyed recording it. If you didn't, I'm sorry. I hope you'll enjoy the next one. But if you did, that's great, and I hope you will enjoy the next episode as well. Thank you so much for your continued support. It's always greatly appreciated. And I do hope that you will have an amazing rest of the week. And I hope you will enjoy this evening as well, or night even. I hope you'll have sweet dreams. Remember to smile. Remember to think about good things. And remember that you are surrounded by good people. And those good people, they care about you. And those good people want to see the best of you, or at least the better of you. So keep going. Keep your heads up. Keep your spirits up. And keep your smile going. It's okay not to smile all the time, but as long as you have got good thoughts in your mind, you will still be able to smile, maybe not with your mouth, but with your eyes. Because smiling with your eyes can sometimes feel more genuine than smiling with your mouth. And remember that no matter what you are going through right now, no matter how cruel and unjust life is, you can still enjoy sunsets. And after sunsets, another day comes in. And no matter where you are and what is happening right now, you should stay strong and you should keep going. Because people believe in you. And you deserve a good life. You deserve a good life. And you deserve a chance for a better life. Or you deserve to be the better self. Don't give up. This has been Nicholas Malson. And I wish you a lovely night. I hope to speak to you again in the next episode. Have a good one. And goodbye.